Have you ever really thought about what Christianity is? I mean, really thought about it. What if the label we've always used, religion, is, well, completely missing the point? We're going to dive into a pretty powerful argument that reframes the whole thing, not as a religion, but as something way more personal. Let's get right into it. All right, so here's the big question, right out of the gate. Is Christianity a religion? Now, your first instinct is probably to say, yeah, of course it is. It seems like such an obvious answer. But the author we're exploring today, well, he wants us to hit the pause button and really think about that. And this is the statement that kicks the whole thing off. The author, Pastor Chris Oyakhilome, says, "I've often said that Christianity is not a religion." Wow, that's a pretty bold claim, right? It goes against everything we're used to hearing, and that's exactly the idea we're going to unpack today. Okay, so you can't just drop a bombshell like that and walk away. The immediate next question is, well, if it's not a religion, then what in the world is it? And don't worry, the author doesn't just leave us hanging. He's got a very clear and honestly a pretty fascinating alternative for us. So here's his answer. The author's view is that Christianity isn't a system of rules or rituals. Instead, it's a direct personal relationship. And he gets even more specific. It's like the relationship a child has with their own father. This whole family analogy is so important to his argument because it's designed to take it from something abstract and make it feel incredibly personal and real. Just look at this comparison here. It really lays it all out. On one side, you've got what we typically associate with religion, right? Distant worshipers, maybe some rigid rituals, an impersonal system. But then look at the other side, the family relationship model. We're talking about intimate children, a vital fellowship, a love fellowship with the Father. It's a total shift, you see. It moves from something formal and distant to something deeply, genuinely intimate. So how does he back this up? Well, the author points to what he sees as an evolving relationship, and he tracks it through the actual words Jesus used for his followers over time. It's pretty interesting. Let's walk through how this idea builds. Okay, so the argument basically breaks down into 3 steps. You can see them here. Step 1, Jesus initially calls his disciples servants. Step 2, he then elevates them, calling them friends. But it's step 3 that's the real game changer. After the resurrection, the relationship completely transforms and he calls them brethren, his brothers. This progression, this journey from servant to friend to brother, is literally the foundation for this entire perspective. And here's that second stage right from the book of John. Henceforth, I call you not servants, but I have called you friends. You can feel the shift there, can't you? It's a huge deal, moving from a master-servant dynamic to a real friendship. But as important as that is, the author says, hold on, the story's not over yet. The biggest change is still to come. And this is the pivotal moment. According to the author, the most significant, the most profound change in the entire relationship, the one that redefines absolutely everything, takes place after the resurrection. And here it is, the final step. After the resurrection, Jesus says, "Go to my brethren, and say unto them, I ascend unto my Father and your Father." Notice he doesn't say friends anymore. He says, my brethren. And for the author, that little phrase, my Father and your Father, that's everything. That's the moment the family bond becomes official. So what's the takeaway? The author's conclusion is that this is the real origin of Christianity. Not a set of doctrines, but this very moment. The instant believers are officially welcomed into the same family as Jesus, becoming his brothers and sisters. All right, so, brethren, it's a big word. What does it actually mean to be family in this divine sense? Let's dig a little deeper into the implications of this new status, because it's pretty profound. To flesh this out, the author turns to the book of Hebrews, and he highlights 2 really key ideas. First is that Jesus and his followers, they're all of one. They come from the same source. And second, because they have this shared origin, Jesus is not ashamed to call them brethren. He's not embarrassed to call them family. And here's the full verse that puts it all together. This is really the scriptural backbone for this whole idea of a single, unified divine family. You see, the point the author is making is that brethren isn't just a nice, friendly nickname. It's a statement about a deep, profound, shared identity. Let's just stop and think about that for a second, because this is a massive idea. Being brethren in this view isn't just getting a new title. It means you are literally made one with Jesus. It means sharing in his very nature and having the same direct line, the same relationship with the Father that he had. So, to wrap this all up,
What we've seen is a complete reframing of what Christianity is. The author's whole point is to shift our perspective away from an external system, a religion with practices and rituals, and towards something internal, something vital, a deeply personal family relationship with God.
And that leaves us with a really powerful question to chew on. If you start to see faith not as a religion, a set of rules you have to follow, but as a relationship, a family you belong to, how does that change things? How does it alter the entire meaning? It's a really fascinating idea to think about. Thanks for joining me on this one.